Hey everyone, what's up? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. Let me know who's in the room today. I want to know who's in here so we can have a good time on this morning. We got so much to talk about. We got some great headlines. We have Game Over with Kenny Stanley today as well. And we just want to talk. We have some information we want to share with you today. And we're hoping that you would join us and participate and also share your thoughts as well. People, we have a lot of work to do. And I know we're already what may seem to be at the ninth hour, but it's never too late to get on the field and start playing this game. But we're going to play chess, not checkers. So let me know who's in here. Roll on up in here. Let me know how your weekend is going, what plans you have for this week, how you are strategizing this week, and things that you can do to make this world better. I see you, Regina Shorts. Good morning to you. I see you, Camille Hopkins. Good morning to you. I see you, Elizabeth Towns. Good morning to you. What's up, Jeffrey Allen James? What's up, Rosanna Bivens? Dr. Antoinette, how's it going, sister? Dr. Greta Oliver, good morning to you as well. Y'all, we have a lot of news. We also want to talk about Ohio politics as well. So if you're from Ohio, we ask that you jump on in here and join the conversation. But we have a lot to cover. Do us a favor, if you don't mind. Take that share button, share it, and invite people to come to hear what we have to talk about, because we have a lot that's on the table. I see you, Adrian. I had an opportunity to actually see Adrian face to face this past weekend, and it was such a pleasure to just hang out with her for a little while, to talk, to laugh, to dream, to envision, and to see what's going on. Adrian said, "Oh Lord, Ohio politics. Listen, it's a mess. It's a mess, but we can't leave it a mess. And we as constituents need to raise their questions and also attend town hall meetings." I see you, Marion Jackson. Good morning to you. Good morning, y'all. It is Monday morning. Some of you are tuning in by audio, so I want to say good morning to you. Some of you may be watching the replay, so I don't know if it's morning, afternoon, or evening for you. I just want to say thank you for hanging out with us today and grabbing as much information as you can, and also not only taking it for yourself, but to share it with someone else. I see my brother up in here, Louis Pryor. I see Pastor Alex up in here. Alex Williams, what is Florida like today? I see you, Shirley. Y'all, Shirley's putting her house on sale, and it's a beautiful house. She's only looking for serious people who are interested. So if you're interested in buying a house in Ohio, in Sunbury, Ohio, make sure you check her out. Rosanna says she had her second Pfizer booster yesterday. I have mine on the schedule as well. And we're just going to wait and see. I keep thinking I'm going to move it out, but I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. But y'all, come on up in the room, y'all. Let us know who's here. And again, let us know what kind of weekend you had. All right, y'all, we have a lot. So you know what we do. We need to get this news started. So let's go. Yeah, y'all. Pastor Alex is saying Florida is awesome today. It's his happy place. Okay, you and Laura have fun there. What's up, Sardinia? Good morning to you and to my sister Patricia Laus and to Diane Ladybug. Good morning to all of you. Y'all want to start with Ohio politics, the voting and the maps. As you know, if you live in Ohio, the Supreme Court threw the maps out once again. What's up, Valerie Johnson? And so they're going ahead. They're moving forward with the May 3rd primary, which is next Tuesday. So you're wondering, what are you going to see? Or if you've already voted in early voting, because early voting is this week as well. You're saying, well, what am I looking at? I guess they're blocking out the names. How I've seen a dummy or a sample ballot. They're blocking out legislator. They're blocking out state and local names when it comes to mapping. I don't know what that looks like. So they're saying that then they're going to possibly move that portion to August the 2nd. So right now we have the primary May 3rd. We have August the 2nd with the remaining. So it's really messy. People are wondering. So they're starting to hear, or you may be starting to hear August the 2nd as the day to vote. Well, y'all don't miss May the 3rd, because May the 3rd is also the day to vote. And early voting is already happening in Ohio, y'all. I'm specifically speaking of Ohio at this moment. So the Ohio Supreme Court threw the maps out again. So they're going ahead with the primary on May 3rd with a possible August 2nd to do the rest of the voting. How messy will this be going into the November midterm election? Very messy. Very messy. So, y'all, listen, couple of things I want to stress here. Number one, pay attention. Look at what you're voting. If you have questions, ask the questions. If you need to Google and pull out a sample ballot, you can go to ballotpedia.org and pull that out. But y'all, or you can go to the Secretary of State, Ohio Secretary of State State.gov, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But go to the Ohio Secretary of State website and pull up a sample ballot for your district. Now, again, the districts they're going to look messy because the maps have not been finalized. But there are other issues and things on the ballot. So y'all, please do not sleep on May 3rd and pay attention to the April 2nd in Ohio possible election. And then you have the midterm. So technically in Ohio, we are voting 3 times this year in 2022, 3 separate times, 3 separate ballots. So y'all, please pay attention. As we continue to get information for Ohio, we're going to continue to share that with all of you. It's messy. Let's just leave it that way. It is messy. Also, many of you probably been following the Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Minority Speaker Kevin McCarthy. You have that. Y'all, we cannot ignore that either, because that rides a lot on what's going to happen in the midterms. Y'all, the races are very tight for midterm election in November. We cannot sleep on this. And again, as I stressed in 2020, and hear me, I believe these 2022 midterm elections are just as important, if not more important, than the 2020 election, the presidential general elections we had, because there's a lot riding on this, you all. I will never tell you how to vote, but I am going to encourage you to dig deeper and to find out the information that you need. When you're listening to the hearing of Marjorie Taylor Greene, when you're listening to the recording from Kevin McCarthy, we need to pay a lot of attention to what's happening. Not only that, we have Governor Ron DeSantis and the Disney, they did revoke their legislation, their bills, their taxes, all of that took place in 1967. They removed that, and people are saying, is that retaliation? It looks that way. So we got to watch that and see how that folds out. He's a contender for 2020 presidential election. And there's a lot of questions we need to be asking. And that's why our local and our state politics are just as important as federal politics, because let's just say, hypothetically, he gets into office. Well, what could possibly happen? He's showing us his playbook right now. Will we see books not only go off the shelves in schools in Florida, happen to go off the shelves all over the United States, as well as in bookstores? I don't know. Those are questions we need to be asking our representatives. That's a big question. Another question, what about textbooks? Will textbooks then be scrutinized and determine what the children will see, what will be in our households? I'm not saying we're going to go into that direction, but these are questions we need to be asking. Y'all, there's so much writing on the 2022 midterm elections. We cannot sleep on these elections. We cannot sleep. The other thing that there's still a need, now it may be too late for the primaries, but there is a major deficit when it comes to poll workers for the 2022 midterm elections. I'm not saying this is for you, because it's a long day. And Kim Edmondson, who's on here, I believe this morning, she has shared, as well as Adrian has shared, and others. It's a long day. It is a long day. But I want you to consider this. Is that long day, is that training in those hours just as important so that everyone can vote regardless of their district? Or would you rather stay at home and just say, to heck with people who cannot find transportation to get to another polling location, or they don't even understand how to finagle to get to the polling locations if theirs have been shut down? Good morning, Deborah Johnson. Good morning, Judy Neal and Stephanie. Yes, Rosanna, we have homework to do. Y'all, I cannot stress enough, and y'all, I know you hear me talk about this often. I cannot stress enough. It's more than just knowing the names that are on the ballot and going into your polling location and voting for that person. It's a lot. We have to connect the dots. We have to look at the financial side of it. We have to look at the different bills and legislations that may be on the table. We have to look at the school to prison pipeline. We have to look at food insecurity. We have to look at let's take Governor Greg Abbott for a moment. You know, he had this thing with stopping the trucks and before they came over from Mexico looking for immigrants, they found zero immigrants hidden in trucks. But yet 43, I think it's 43.5 billion. Now that's the same. No, that's the number for Musk. We'll get to that in a moment. But it's like 40, it was 40 something $billion of food that's spoiled because they held up those trucks. And we're talking about food insecurity. These are the dots that we need to connect when we're looking at this midterm election. Latrice Jones says, if you follow the money, you'll find out a lot. Yes. Stephanie Burbridge Hall, zero. Yes, zero immigrants, zero, y'all. But they held up those trucks and all of that food crossing that border spoiled. All of it. And we have people here hungry. I see you, Tracy. And let's see, Latrice says we need to encourage some young folks to work the polls. Let's talk about that for a moment as well. And we're going to show the poll worker video in just a moment. But let's talk about poll workers just for a moment. Good morning, Lori. Y'all listen. Young people, they many schools across the US, they're offering you community service hours. Some are even offering you college credit if you work the polls. Now you have to be, I believe you have to be either 17 or 18. I think they may even take some 16-year-olds as well, depending upon your grade, your GPA, and some other information in your location. But you can go to pollhero.org. Poll Hero, POLLHERO.org. That's where the young people are signing up. Get with your staff, secretary, administrators, and so forth. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for putting that up. Y'all get with them to find out how you can participate. So just share this with our young people everywhere because there's a great need. There's a great need. And as Kim Edmondson, she did comment on here, as Kim Edmondson is saying, yeah, there are long hours there, but it's worth it to know that every polling location is open. You may say, well, we're only at the end of April. We're talking November. They're starting to do training now. That's why we are sharing this now. They're starting to do training now. Let's watch this video about poll working.
Ready to help America vote? Working the polls on Election Day is a great way to strengthen our democracy right in your own community. Poll workers set up polling places, check in voters, and answer questions, and show us how to use voting machines. It's important. Any voter can file an application to become a poll worker, and most poll workers get paid. Because right now, America needs more election workers to volunteer. Learn more at helpamericavote.gov.
Yeah, y'all. This is our call to action that we have here with News in Motion. Other politics, French President Emmanuel Macron, I always say his name wrong. I've heard it done a couple of ways, no disrespect. He is projected to have won re-election for a second term, which is unusual for someone to win a second term. As of this reporting, he has a substantial lead by a 57% to 43% margin. People are wondering why so many eyes on this particular election, because Putin was a part of his opposition and she lost. So that's good news. That's good news. But y'all, that's not enough. That's not enough. Something that's happening, and not to make people afraid or anything like that, but we need to know the heartbeat of America and the heartbeat of the world. And y'all, we all have work to do. Our world data reports that the U.S. COVID-19 cases rise. Y'all, is rise. I didn't say decrease. it rise to near 50,000 per day in this past 7-day rolling average. However, good news is that the reported deaths has fallen under 370 per day. That's the lowest since July 2021. So there's good news that the deaths have decreased, but y'all, the cases are now on the rise again at 50,000. CBS News reports that the Supreme Court will hear oral arguments today over the firing of the California high school coach for praying on the field after the games. Y'all, this case is expected to clarify the court's stance on religious expression. So all eyes should be on that as well. And I'm sure Kenny's going to speak to that as well as we go into Game Over with Kenny Stanley.
Hey,
Sir, how are you?
I'm good. I was gonna bring the coach being fired up Wednesday, but I do some more.
The one with the religion or the NFL?
Yeah, the religion.
You can talk about either one of them. But before you do, I want to go back to the mask for a moment. And some of you who may be leaving your home in Ohio may want to know this information. Adrian is sharing that Capital University reinstated their masking effective immediately. So if you are a part of Capital University, if you're a student or staff, their mask mandate has been reinstated immediately. So with that out of the way, Kenny, I'm turning it over to you.
All right. Good morning, NewsInMotion family. Welcome to Game Over with me, Kenny Stanley. Hey, say it with me. The NBA is fantastic. Boy, these playoffs are the bomb. They're giving us everything that we asked for. New Orleans Pelicans said, no. You're not going to don't count us out just yet. As they tied their series with the Phoenix Suns yesterday by winning the game 118-103. Brandon Ingram is showing everybody that he's showing the Lakers and the rest of the NBA he is a force to be reckoned with as he dropped 30 points in the Denver Nuggets New Orleans victory. The Denver Nuggets will live to fight one more game, and trust me, I say just one more because they're getting ready to go home. They stopped the Golden State Warriors from running them out the gym, and they won yesterday, 126-121. Nikolai Jokic, they call him the Joker. He dropped 37 points yesterday in the victory. The Milwaukee Bucks are showing everybody that, we may repeat. They looked pretty good yesterday as they beat the Chicago Bulls, and they're one game away from sending the Bulls fishing for the summer. They won yesterday 119-95. Giannis, the Greek freak, that man is a bad man. He dropped 32 points yesterday and grabbed 17 rebounds. I don't see anybody doing anything with him. He's a man's man. That dude is bad. And the Miami Heat put a halt to the Atlanta Hawks one-day celebration because the Hawks was all hyped up thinking it was going to make it a series. But that came to a halt yesterday as Jimmy Butler, a.k.a. Jimmy Butler, dropped 36 points, grabbed 10 rebounds in the Miami Heat victory as they beat Atlanta 116-86. I said I wasn't going to say nothing, but I got to bring it up. He's not in the playoffs, but if the Nets lose tonight, I don't want to hear nothing else about Kevin Durant. I don't want to hear nothing else about Kyrie Irving. They have done nothing. What has Kevin Durant won? Oh, you say he got 2 championships? He joined a team that won 73 games the year before he got there. That's what he did. The team was already stacked to win. He was just icing on the cake. Kevin Durant has no leadership ability. Kyrie Irving has no leadership ability. Kyrie got a ring because LeBron came back to Cleveland. Had he not come back to Cleveland, Cleveland would have never made the playoffs with Kyrie Irving. I don't want to hear it no more. Them two have no leadership ability. They're horrible. They're getting ready to get ran off the court. And I am so glad the 76ers got rid of Ben Simmons. He was supposed to play tonight in the game, but he woke up with back spasms, so he said. This man hasn't played a game all season long. I'm glad the 76ers got rid of him. He was a wasted pick. He hasn't done any improvement since he left LSU. That's it for that. Okay, Major League Baseball. Miguel Cabrera becomes only the 7th player to have 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. He accomplished that feat yesterday in the game with his 3,000 hit. So let's congratulate Miguel Cabrera. For those of you trying to follow the spring football thing, the USFL, well, I got a little bit of scores for you. The Birmingham Stallions beat the New Jersey Generals 28-24. The Houston Gamblers, they won 17. They won 17-12 as they beat the Michigan Panthers. The New Orleans Breakers scored 23. The Philadelphia Stars had 17. The Tampa Bay Bandits won 17, had 17 points, and the Pittsburgh Maulers had 3. It looks like Pittsburgh has 2 professional football teams that can't find the win column. I'm just joking, Latrice Jones. Don't get on me. But I thought that was funny. That's sports. Game over.
I just love it, Kenny. Thank you so much. I love it. The chat is blowing up. It's so good to see John Gore's name pop up in here. John, I've been missing you. He said, "Go Celtics, close the
Oh,
nets
wait a
out."
minute. Hold on. Can I give a big up to John? Is that your grandson, John Gore? Because, hey, he hit a home run yesterday in the game. Hey, that was a nice hit. I just want to put that out there. I meant to say that earlier.
See, even Kenny's watching Little League. Yeah, and that is his grandson. That is his grandson, Aiden. So yes, that's what's happening. Y'all, just wanted to share something out of Patreon. With Patreon, we had a post up about a week and a half, couple of weeks ago, and Kenny was the only person who responded. That is now over. Kenny is receiving at this moment $2,500 of free consultation as a Patreon member, someone who read the post and responded. So he's going to get 5 individual customized sessions with 5 experts. So Kenny, thank you for being a Patreon member, and you're getting ready to reap a serious benefit.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes. And John Gore said, thanks, Kenny. People are saying thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good
Wednesday.
I see y'all Wednesday.
All right. Y'all, Netflix is trying to work with you. They're not just trying to kick us to the curb. They're trying to work with you. CNBC is reporting Netflix, last week they let us know they're clamping down on this password sharing. Even if you are in the same family, they're like, we're not doing this. Y'all, more than 100 million households are using a shared password, Netflix said on Tuesday, including 30 million in the US and in Canada. That's what's happening, y'all. 100 million households. Y'all, but the video streamer doesn't plan to just freeze those shared accounts. They're like, we're going to give y'all a little bit of break. Now, they're going to see, are y'all family? And let's just take, for example, in my household, we share with somebody that lives in Georgia. And the thing is, okay, y'all do that, y'all family? Okay, well, we're going to have to charge y'all a little extra. Y'all just better roll with it because they coming for you. They're coming for you. This is what their CEO had to say. He said, if you got a sister, this is his quote, if you have a sister, let's say that's living in a different city and you want to share Netflix with her, that's great. This is what the chief operating officer, Greg Peters, had to say during the company's earnings conference call. He goes on in his quote that says, we're not trying to shut down that sharing, but we are going to ask you to pay a bit more to be able to share with her so that she gets the benefits and the value of the service. But we also get the revenue associated with that viewing. They're like, you're going to give us something out of this. Y'all, the other thing that was really important they talked about with password sharing is that if you do start a second account, they're going to allow you to keep your profile and keep all the movies you've watched and how you're rating them so that your algorithm does not change. Bottom line is they're going to work with you, but they're getting ready to get their money back as well. So I just wanted to share that with you. Also, y'all, Twitter. New York Times is reporting. We talked about this last week. Now, personally, I think he needs to stick with his product, which is his Teslas. They're great cars. Is the Twitter board met on yesterday to discuss Elon Musk's offer, and obtaining commitments for the financing was a turning point on how the board viewed the bid of $54.20 a share, enabling the company's 11 board members to seriously consider his offer. Now, in an agreement, it is not yet final, but they had initially seen to be highly improbable deal appeared to be now nearing an end game. Now, the situation involving Twitter and Elon Musk remains fluid and fast moving. Hopefully, there'll be something that will come out this week. But if you go to Twitter, people are saying they're cool with it until the old person who was removed comes back on. And people believe that that's what Elon Musk is setting up, is for the old person, the old occupant to come back. And he believes people should be able to say and do whatever they want to. People mad. They're saying they're going to be a mass exit. So we don't know what's about to happen. So we're just going to have to play this one out. Let me ask you all this question before I go to the inspirational message. If Elon Musk buys Twitter and the board sells it to them, and he brings back the old occupant and all of his people, which, by the way, I thought the old occupant started his own social media. So why don't Elon just go over there and buy that and help that? But no, if they bring him back to Twitter, would you leave if you are already on Twitter? Would you leave or would you stay? Put in the chat, would you leave or would you stay? I want to wait to see that. And with that, I'm going to go to the inspirational message. Please let me know in Twitter, if Elon Musk, if his purchase goes through and he brings back the previous occupant or the Oval and all his cronies, would you stay or would you leave Twitter? Marion says she's leaving. She says she's leaving. Latrice says she's staying. Y'all, there's something about knowing what they're doing. You just have to be able to protect yourself, protect your heart, protect your mental. I love that word from Simone Biles. Protect your mental. Pastor Alex said he would leave. Kim Edmondson says, I'm not loyal to Twitter, so I would leave. Latrice says, Buttercup, don't bother me. Stop, shot, fly. So some of you are saying you would leave. One or two of you said you would stay. Dr. Antoinette said leave. I've deleted artists from my Pandora station. Yeah, I've deleted people too. And that's what I was thinking. Can the power of the delete button just to delete people, just delete them off, just shut them down. But there's something to knowing what it is they're up to. Mary Jenkins says she will stay for observation. Okay, so it's kind of like splits. Serbinia says she's staying. Okay, it's kind of like a split. Some would leave and some would stay. It's going to be interesting to see what happens and see what changes he makes. Adrian says block and delete. One thing that people want to see stay with Twitter is that you don't increase more than 240 characters and you do not have a correction button, because they really do play off of people who make errors. A lot of news and politician and media people are saying they want to stay, but they do not want to be silenced, and they do not want to have to go to what they call Twitter jail, because that's now a thing. I didn't know they had that on Twitter, but they do. And people are saying if they leave, they're going to miss a lot of relationships. Judy said, "Would stay to know what the other side is doing." Stephanie said, yes, you have to be able to tap into their strategy. You do. Cassandra Tarver, congratulations to the sneaker ball. I hear it was amazing. Isaiah was telling us about it, me this morning, and Kenny in the green room. By the way, your red dress was absolutely beautiful, amazing. You looked fly. Cassandra says, jumped on here to say how dope you are. Thank you. Girl, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part, to play a small part that I was able to play. But you all did a fabulous job. We just want to say thank you. Y'all, the Sneakers Ball was a part of the HBCU Classic. They did their Soul Wars, the food competition. It's worldwide. It's great. Y'all need to connect with Cassandra. And Cassandra has a nonprofit that's bringing about sickle cell awareness. So you do want to participate and get to know her, follow her, and see all that she's doing. All right, y'all, here's the inspirational message: different gifts. Different gifts. Romans 12:5-8 says, so in Christ, we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to the others. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance, then prophesy, in accordance with your faith. If it is service, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is to give, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Let me break this down real quick and we'll be out of here for today. Y'all, we all have a gift. And it's so important that we are operating in our gifts. It is so easy to get distracted and to focus on what other people are doing. My son preached a message on Saturday, and the message was called Mind Your Business. And he talked about how people get into this place of comparing, and how people get into this place that after they compare, they begin to compete, but they're only looking at what's out there on social media, not really getting to know the person. And he was talking about when Jesus called Simon Peter to go and to preach and to share. This is during Jesus's time back after he after the resurrection, during that 40 days. And Peter went and said, what about John? What's he doing? And I'm not giving his message any justice. Just go to the Builders Church, TBC, on Facebook, and look at Saturday's message. They meet Saturday for 1 hour in Columbus, Ohio. And it's the best 1 hour that I had in a long time on this past Saturday. And I went with shorts on and a t-shirt. I love that kind of church. Bring me that kind of church anytime. But anyway, getting off topic. But anyway, he talked about this message, and he said, sometimes we're so busy focused on other people, wondering what somebody else is doing instead of focusing on what God's called you to. Y'all, there are many gifts. There are many gifts which forms one body. What part of the body are you operating in, or have you stopped operating in, and now the body is dysfunctional because you're not operating within your gift? So many people are out there trying to build influencers and try to get these likes and trying to get to the next step. And God is like, I didn't call you to all of that. Would you still do the work that I've given to you if there's one person, one life that you're touching? And you have to answer that question. I loved how my son broke this down on Saturday, because he talked about we should not be comparing. We should be completing the assignment that's been given to us. But what normally happens, we compare and then turn into competing instead of completing our assignment. Y'all, that was the bomb message. Again, I'm messing up. You just have to go to the Builders Church. I'll put the link on this news thread here for you to check it out. But I want to come back to the scripture and say this to you before I get off of here. Y'all, we have different gifts according to grace given to us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy accordance with your faith. Now, don't be afraid to give somebody a message if God has given that to you. Don't worry about if they're going to receive it. Don't worry about if they're going to talk about you. Don't worry about any of that. Just do what God has called you to do. Just make sure it's from God. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy. If it is serving, then serve. Y'all, there's nothing wrong with serving. There's nothing wrong with service. Nothing's wrong with that. Whatever that looks like. You know, I always joke from time to time. Y'all have heard me and Demia joke on here before when I talk about Starbucks. I said, let me just roll up in Starbucks and serve y'all some coffee. I would probably jack up y'all's order, but we could have some great conversation. And I would serve you like there's nothing to it. Now, that's not my calling. But I thought, you know, we think about these things, y'all. Service, I think service is the bomb, because you're serving people and you never know who you're going to come in contact with. So don't be afraid, if your gift is serving, to go out there and serve. And then it goes on to say, if it is teaching, then teach. Then teach. Listen, everybody's not going to receive your gift. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission or validation to do what you've been called to do. If your gift is teaching, then go and teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. Give that encouragement. Give it, y'all. If it is giving, then give generously without asking people where your dollar is going. Just give generously. Just do that. Y'all, we need to stop having so many walls that we put up because we're not sure how somebody else is going to receive us. It doesn't matter. It's that gifting. I posted on Instagram and I posted on one of my other pages on Facebook, that gift basket that's back there. Now, I love news, politics, headlines, voting, all of those things. But there was so much negativity in news that I had to find my way to dump things. And I have a creative side to me. I really do. And so a part of this weekend was just going out and saying, okay, it's time for me to do gift baskets, because I do that every now and then. Probably done it over the past 5 years, maybe 10 times. I don't know. And it allows me to find an outlet to get to get all of that other stuff out of me. Now, somebody may say, why are you doing that? Because I love it. I enjoy it. It's a gift that I have. And every now and then, God allows me to put those gifts out there. Same with you. We need to stop thinking we're only one mind, one focus. This is the only thing we can do. This is the only thing people know us for. Y'all, get out of that. Because God designed you from the day you were formed in your mother's womb. And from that, you know what those giftings are. And from time to time, He will bring out different giftings. I believe in having multiple gifts. I also believe in multiple streams of income. And there's nothing wrong with those things, y'all. But if that's what you're called to do, different gifts forms one body. And if you're not operating in your gifting, there's dysfunction in the body. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Y'all, it's time for us to do some things. This is a call to action today, to do some things. Prayerfully, this has blessed you today. You got the news headlines. Again, don't just take my word for it. Go and do the research yourself. But this is one thing I know. No, actually, two things. Y'all, we need poll workers. And yes, I'm saying that now for midterm elections. Start registering today. Just start Googling it, look it up, see what's all involved, and see if this isn't something that you should be doing in this season. They're needed. I've said this to you in 2020. I'll say this to you again. The first polling locations that they're going to close are in the marginalized communities, the communities where transportation is slow, where buses normally do not go, and they will be in a place where they will not be able to vote. So y'all, we need you in these polling locations all throughout the US. Don't sleep on that. The second thing is understand what's on your voting ballot, whether it's the primaries or the midterm. Y'all, you see what's coming. You see what's coming. Don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this. This is the time to resist. The time is now. And you can resist by voting your voice. All right, y'all. That's all I have. Until tomorrow, I am Gail Dudley. This has been your News in Motion. I'm out.